Whether it's on purpose or not, you're listening to the Hometown Hot Rodder Podcast with hosts Brian Thompson and Jimmy Harrison. What up, bitches?
What up?
So as if y'all didn't get enough torture on a Tuesday, you get a special fucking Wednesday edition from the Hometown Hot Rodder Podcast.
Yeah, no shit.
Episode 14 now.
14.
It's almost been close enough in time that we could call it 13.2
Right?
or some stupid shit like
Or
that.
we
But
should just go by weeks.
yeah, we're not even. Yeah. Could you imagine trying to just do a weekly podcast?
Yeah, right?
There's no fucking way. I couldn't do it.
No, not at all.
I get too excited about them and I want to talk about shit too much and
Yeah.
there's little else to do, so why not podcast?
Well, sometimes.
Well, schedules are getting a little busier.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and give you a little bit of a backup here. Just so you guys know, in this episode, Jimmy is not feeling the greatest.
No, not at all.
But he is a motherfucking trooper, and he's going to stick one out because we've got a really special one for y'all.
Oh, yeah.
So if you follow us on the grams and the books and whatnot, and all them other shitty Zuckerberg sites,
Right?
we did make a post today that we would be interviewing JP from P Events,
Hell
and
yeah.
we are totally here. We're totally finally fucking set up. But we're gonna run down and thank our advertisers real quickly, and then we will bring JP on. And this is gonna be a badass show because just in our mic checks, first of all, we had a cluster fuckery of me having the cables hooked up wrong.
Dumbass.
Yeah, well, I can't technology the most. We're going to start Johnny Chop Customs down in Austin.
Red.
My brother. And then we will move on to Atomic Misfits Boutique.
Yep.
Hard Luck Customs.
Hard luck.
Dia de los Customs number 7.
Hell yeah.
Los Hitters Car Club. The motherfucking custom couple, Sam and Lane.
Yeah.
I loves y'all. Inky Blinders Tattoo Studio in Venus, Texas.
Nice.
Amplified Live,
What?
Dallas, Texas. You don't know what Amplified Live is? You need to learn how to look shit up every single time.
Yeah, like everybody else would explain it. You
Yeah.
got to experience it for Amplified Live.
Word. So, and then most recently, Common Treads Magazine and Palmetto Print and Design. So thank you guys very much. Those of you that I just named that have already signed on for 2022, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Those of you that haven't, what the fuck?
Yeah.
This thing is averaging almost like 60 or 70 downloads a day and about 200 a week. So I have no idea how. It's probably people just getting ready to call the cops on us.
Probably.
Yeah, these dudes are fucking perverts.
Yeah.
And to all of you, I say, want to see my pecker?
Want to see it?
And there's my perfect segue. We're going to bring in JP at P Events.
What?
JP, can you hear us, brother?
I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Hell yeah, we can hear
can.
you. Do you want to run now that you've heard that intro?
Well, shit. I mean, look, I have to follow the word pecker, and then I have a company called P Events.
What?
Yes, dude. Any hair on your balls?
Oh, that'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
Pecker. What are you talking about? although it's cold, so I got to tie a string around it so I can pull it out every so often to find it. But hey, look, that's
Dude.
a story altogether.
Dude, and normally I'd say, come on, it's not cold, man. You're down south. Well, I'm going to tell you, I was down south this weekend. It was fucking cold.
Right?
Look, dude, 40 degrees is cold for me.
But
Right? So you wake up in the morning and it's 40 degrees. Look, I live out in the hill country too, so you go out there. Even the damn deer have a string tied around their pecker to pull it out. So
Yeah.
It's unreal, man. Like we were down with Sam and Lane, the custom couple who I know you know, and because they introduced us. But we spent the weekend with them, and it was nasty down there. I was all happy because I knew it was gonna be cold here in Dallas, and I was like, ha.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, ha, we're going down close to the equator. They moved the fucking equator.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me just say, there's an element burned out in the equator oven because it was cold as fucking balls in that place.
No
So
shit.
you can thank your politicians for that bullshit.
yeah, no
You're
shit,
right.
right? So
Well, I just want to throw that out because I hate politicians altogether. So
Right.
well,
Right.
and
both sides. The hell, both sides.
so let me ask you a question on that note. So is since you hate politicians and you got no problems letting everybody know that, right? So is Seguin another word for politicians?
So yeah, for the folks that are listening, right? So we did a show. We do 3 shows a year. So we concentrate on classic cars, and we did a show in November called Battle Rod. Was our first time doing it, and that was actually an all year show. It was the first time we'd done an all year show in a long time. We've been doing shows for 20 years, and we started off doing mini truck shows. So we used to do mini truck shows at the Texas Ski Ranch in New Braunfels. We used to call it Meltdown. And then we did a show called Dry Off one year, and then we used to do a show in Houston called Weenie Stock, which was awesome because that was more of a show appreciation kind of thing. So we had a bunch of promoters who did mini truck shows, and we do a free show and give free hot dogs. So I guess that's, man, that kind of ties in with the Pecker and P events as we talked about earlier.
Damn right it does. Want to see my pecker?
Yeah.
Make a T-shirt with looks like a crossword puzzle.
Oh my!
It says you want to see my pecker, and then the sideways P events.
Yeah.
So at Battle Rod, going back to Battle Rod. So Battle Rod, so it's in Gonzales, Texas. So there's, for those folks who may not know geography where Gonzales is, don't worry. It's off of I-10. You see the Buc-ee's, hang a right, and you're there in 14 miles. But there's a neighboring city called Seguin, and for some reason, I got on this tip of just shitting on Seguin. And there's some good people in Seguin. There's actually great barbecue in Seguin. Probably one of the best barbecues in Texas is in Seguin called Burnt Bean. But to all the folks in Seguin, I have to publicly apologize to you folks. And because I shitted on Seguin all day long. I have no idea why I did that. It was like a subconscious thing. Look, people in Seguin, if you're hurt, go to hell. I'm sorry.
Damn right. If you can't take a joke, then fuck Seguin.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. On the next line,
no.
we have the mayor from Seguin. Go ahead. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, this is a 4-channel podcast recorder, bitch.
No. Good folks in Seguin. Good,
Oh, yeah.
Great folks.
No,
They
dude.
come to our shows. I can't shit on them.
So we went to Battle Rod. We drove down from Dallas, and man, I got to tell you, you did a badass job. That show was
Definitely.
really cool. In fact, I didn't even know it was the first one until I was there, and because I'll be honest, like normally if they're like, well, it's the first one, I'd have been like, maybe not worth the 6-hour drive. You know what I mean?
Right.
And dude, I was blown away. That thing was a badass show, man. So damn good job on that.
Oh yeah, it was
You
awesome.
know, there were some really good quality rides, and then more importantly, there were some really cool people that attended.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm sure you saw the kind of the best of category, that we paraded in front and the best of show. I mean, those, most of those rides were, magazine feature quality.
Right.
And one of the truck that won best full size truck, uh, you know, uh, he was on, I think, the cover of Sport Truck or Trucking magazine. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it
It
was
was that
Sport
pink.
Truck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was that pink OBS. Bobby, man, my mind's going blank on Bobby's last name, but Bobby, you know who you are. But yeah, Bobby Sharp, Bobby Sharp, Robert Sharp, owns that truck, and look. I remember seeing that truck when it was being built from the frame up, and
Damn.
the cab and the fenders and the bed were they were in a corner of the shop at Sharp Ingenuities out of Marion, Texas, just outside Seguin. There you go.
Nice.
I told you there's good people around Seguin.
You didn't say shit about
But
Insigine though.
he's outside. Yeah, he learned his lesson. He moved to Marion.
Yeah,
Right.
But no, that truck, I saw that when it was framed, and to see where it's at, even today, like it's a timeless truck. I mean, it's been out for a little bit, and every show that I see it or when I see it, look, it's just a quality ride
That
from the frame up, engine, interior, paint. The flames were thrown on there. I think it was pinstriped by Pat Maxwell out of Houston, who's
okay.
Pat Maxwell's a god in the mini trucking world, and
Yep.
back in the old days and stuff. And that truck is Definitely something I want to have relationships with. You know.
So, too bad the exhaust is dumped 'cause it'd be obvious.
Oh,
Yeah, just don't turn it on, please.
So yeah, because damn that motor, that bitch sounded nasty coming through the parade there.
Yeah.
So if I'm not mistaken, didn't you you kind of got your automotive interest started in mini trucks? Is that right?
Oh yeah. Look, somewhat of an old dude. Uh, so I started like in
Same.
1989, 89, right? So I bought a brand new truck too, a GMC S15, and put wheels on it and had like a mild lowering kit. Back then there was such a thing as bagging and channeling mini trucks and stuff like it is now.
right.
No, that shit didn't happen.
Uh, it was funny because I was telling my son how I had put a block in the rear, and when I do long drives, I put air shocks and I air it out with the air shocks, and I thought I was fucking custom.
Fucking
Hell
right.
yeah.
Fuck yeah. Anyway, you know, maybe about 3 months old, I decided to take it to a friend. I was part of a club, and he had a shop, and we cut that son of a bitch. We made it convertible, and that son of a bitch leaked like Niagara Falls, man.
But it looked cool.
Man, it looked
Uh,
cool as shit, but like, man, when it rained, man, I was the weatherman, man. I knew exactly when it was going to rain, how much it was going to rain, when, how long it was going to last. Jesus, like, finding any way to kind of, make it from stopping from leak was the kind of the game at that point.
Yeah, back then they didn't have Flex Seal, did they?
dude, I don't think I've had a car in 20 years that didn't leak when it rained.
Yeah.
Not as far as show cars and old cars and stuff
Right.
like that. I mean, my wife always drives brand new cars and stuff, and I've had a couple, but every old car I've ever had leaks, and the 55's no different. If I park it on an incline facing up, right,
Uh-huh.
when it rains, the floorboards fill up with water.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, if I park it on an incline facing down when it rains, the engine compartment fills up with water because the hood's louvered. So
I just bought an ex Oklahoma County Patrol Sheriff Tahoe, and that thing had more holes than a Happy Girl on Sixth Street or something, right? So that thing leaks, right? So I've been trying to plug every hole I can to make sure it doesn't leak inside the Tahoe.
Nice.
It's our tow pig, no pun intended.
hell yeah.
I love taking photos at Shipley's Donuts with it, so it's cool.
He bought an ex cop car and called it the
Right.
tow pig. What's that truck's name? Bacon.
Bacon.
Jesus Christ. But so I don't know what you were expecting turnout wise for Battle Rod since it was the first one and whatnot, but I would assume it had to have at least almost met your expectations.
Well, yes. Look, here's the deal. When you look at our show like River Rod coming in March 12th,
We'll be there.
Which we're registered for.
awesome. March 12th in New Braunfels, it'll be at the Comal County Fairgrounds. That thing will have about 500 entries.
Jesus.
Uh, Luke and Rod, we do another show called Luke and Rod in Lukenbach, Texas, and that's September 10th of next year. That one we sell out at about 350. We might be able to push it a little bit more because now we have a little bit more grasp of room now.
Right
Nice.
on, right on.
Um, that one will sell out at 350, maybe 375 or 400. Battle Rod was our smallest show of the year, but I will say this that there is so much room for expansion there. In fact, for next year, we're going to throw in a swap meet on top of the car show
Dude,
at
Rad.
Battle Rock
I cannot
because
tell you how many times I was telling people that there needed to be a swap meet under that pavilion.
yeah. Well, so the idea was that we're going to fill up that core area first, and then fill up the pavilion.
Yeah.
But next year we're going to fill it up. We're going to fill up that core area, move to the pavilion, and then there's all kinds of room for expansion. So, although it was our first year show, we had about 160 registered vehicles. Um, I'm thinking that next year we'll probably top 200, 250 because it's a first year show. So,
I don't
in
see
ter-
how it can not grow from here out,
yeah,
and especially if
yeah,
you do a swap meet.
yeah. And look, Gonzales is a cool little town. Uh, you know, I've been going to Gonzales here for the last year now, going back and forth and talking to folks and that kind of deal. But it's a cool little downtown. We had a pre-party at a saloon called Templin Saloon, and we'll do it again next year. That saloon's been around since 19 and I don't know, and change or something.
Crazy.
And it's owned by some really great folks that own it. And we had a good time the night before. Of course, I couldn't get too drunk because I had to do the show the following day.
Yep,
And
I
then
got you.
the following day, look, people were out there early in the morning rolling in. It's a great little area. I'm excited for next year. And look, I'm also excited. Look, I'm actually starting to get nervous on River Rod, making sure I do all the things I got to do to make sure that we pull that off correctly and successfully.
Well,
Uh,
I know that we're looking forward to River Rod.
Yeah.
Look, we think we're going to be bringing the 55 down, and that's what I registered. But
okay.
things do tend to change upon every now and then.
Right.
And there's been some talks of the 55 going down for a little while to be upgraded.
Yeah.
We'll call it that. A few changes to be made, and the body work will be getting finished up next week on where I had left it. Where when I took it as a spotted ape down to Battle Rod, but the body work will be finished up, and it'll at least be in primer next week, and well, maybe a little bit after New Year, but
Right.
it's close. And even if we don't have the 55 ready, we will be there, and we're just stupid enough that we might just buy some kind of shit box and throw it on the ground just to bring it down.
Hell yeah.
Well, that's hot rodding, right?
Damn,
Yeah.
damn right. So I did see that, like you touched on, Battle Rod was an all makes and models and years show.
Mhm.
And I did see that River Rod is 87 and older. Is that correct?
87 and yeah, pre 87.
So
All right.
so if I get an 86 hard body, it qualifies.
Absolutely.
Fucking right. Because I'm not saying that that's gonna happen, but we're also mini truck guys.
Well, we've had last couple years we've had a Blazer, a GMC Blazer
Oh yeah.
or Jimmy, and we had a Toyota. So yeah,
Nice.
bring it out, man. I'd love to see more mini trucks out.
So let me ask you this, and then there's a slew of questions that I know that Jimmy and I had for you as far as your background in shows because putting on a car show sucks, and I want to know why you like it. But have you ever been to Mini Nats?
Yep,
What do you think about that?
it's a behemoth.
It's
Look, I'll say this. I'm a Texas guy, so I'm going to say that Alice T is the godfather of shows, but Mini Nats is definitely it a heavy hitter, no doubt about that. But Alice T for me is kind of the show, um, and I'm not saying that just because I used to MC the event for a while, but Radar is a cool dude, and him and Lonnie have built a behemoth. I remember the first LST. I think they had somewhere around 300 cars the first year out, and now they cap out at 2,000.
Yeah,
Um,
and right in the middle of COVID in October of 20, we went to Mini Nats and there were like 812, I think is what they said.
God dang.
Yeah, it was.
minis, yeah,
So
strictly minis, yeah.
these shows, man, it's really cool to me to see the mini truck shows. Where, well, and not all of them are focused on minis. Even Mini Nats. I mean, that's where we debuted the 55. Was at Mini Nats when we finished it the first time. But there were full size trucks, there were hot rods, there were Volkswagens, there were but seeing these shows that are starting to pile up with mini trucks, dude, I got to be honest with you, it kind of makes me happy.
There was discussion within our ranks whether we should move up the gate of entries at our show to about 94, 95. Only because there's a lot of folks who reach out to me with OBS trucks that want to come out, and
Yep.
and that's kind of it's a slippery slope at that point, right? Because when we started doing Luke and Rod and Battle Rod or River Rod, we said, hey, let's let's have a classic car and truck show. And Luke and Rod originally started off as a pre 1976. Now, people ask me why 70, why, what is with 76? What makes that so significant? Uh, One of the folks at Lukenbach had a 76 Chevy C10, and he wanted to make sure that he made the show because originally I was going to be let's 64 and below. Let's just keep it 64 and below, make it a classic car show.
Right, right.
And so to appease Jamie at Lukenbach, we said okay, pre 76 is cool. We'll do that. We'll roll with that.
Right on.
And then when we started doing Battle Rod, right, I had this like amazing request to make sure that we were as inclusive with this, the C10, scene within Texas, all around the country, is so huge, right? So,
Oh, no doubt
so
about it.
we bumped up to 87 to kind of support the C10 community.
Okay.
Uh, and in fact, one of our sponsors, Vintage Vendetta out of New Braunfels, for River Rod, we haven't announced it. We got to develop a graphic for it and whatnot, but we're doing something special for classic trucks as a whole. So Ryan at Vintage Vendetta is going to have his own what we're calling the Classic Truck Corral, and Ryan's going to pick the top 5 trucks of his liking, of his choice, and ask them to join the corral. And I think he's going to have barbecue and all kinds of goodies and stuff there. And he's going to have 5 different individual trophies that he wants to award.
We like
Vintage
barbecue. We like barbecue.
I like food.
So again, so we went to 87 to appease, like, and to support the C10 crowd. We were getting so many requests for that, and quite honestly, look, the C10s are an amazing group of committed folks that I love having at our shows.
Damn right.
They are.
I mean, some folks, some of the purists, right, of classic cars are like, well, I don't know about that, right? But look, here's the deal: it just adds more flavor to the show. Now, Battle Rod, we tried something different by saying, okay, let's see if we can bring some mini truckers, right? And when I say mini truckers, I'm talking about the OBS, like Robert Sharp's truck and OPs
Yeah.
and so forth.
Street trucks.
Street trucks.
Mini trucks fall into street trucks, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, now the word mini truck is covering full size trucks that are bagged and channeled and whatnot.
Yep.
But for the most part, we said let's do that if we can kind of resurge that piece of it as well and mix both worlds and see how we come out on that. And I think for the most part, look, folks appreciated everyone's rides regardless of what year or genre they were.
Oh, no doubt about it, dude.
Battle Rod.
Everybody was kind of fired up, and we kind of just sat in the little group that we were with because we had left at 2 a.m. and we were tired.
Oh yeah.
So we kind of didn't really run around that much unless we had to pee because we've got really small bladders.
Old man.
But it was everybody that I talked to during and since then, they loved that show. And it just shows me that shows need to be more inclusive. And in my opinion, I've always thought that it would be best for, just keep them antique. So 25 years old and older.
Yeah. That's another discussion we've been having.
So if we can, if in Texas we can register it as an antique at 25 years old, as far as let's say an OBS, or a Fox Body Mustang or a third gen GM, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it can be registered as an antique, dude, you'll see some incredible builds out of that, and you'll see some guys that kind of get shit on for not building a 50s car, you know what I mean? Or a muscle car. And to me, man, if they've got that opportunity to show their stuff, well, there's a damn good chance they're going to see one of these badass, customs and be like, I'm building me one of those, and next thing you know, those guys very well could jump onto that bandwagon. But I know Jimmy has an especial liking. He loves C10s.
Man, I like all kinds of stuff.
Right. But I know that you were happy to know that C10s were involved with these shows.
Man, the minute you said 76, see, I like round lights. So the minute you said that, I was like, oh, let me look. As we were sitting here, and Brian's like, what are you doing? I'm like, that's the C10 year I like. But yeah, it's always been that and lowriders pretty much. You know, growing up.
Yeah, and like if we're talking square body Chevrolets, like I'm a fan of 77s because I was born in 77, and it's the only year of the square body that has the gold paint in the chrome trim.
That's right.
So it's always super easy
My
to tell.
my buddy's got one.
Yeah. So like going to those shows and seeing that. So you doing these at 87 and prior, I think that's fantastic. Dude, I enjoy the mini truck crowd. And so yeah, if you took it to say 94 or 5 where you could get a few more of the hard bodies and stuff like that in and the pups and whatnot, I think it'd be a damn good time.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, look, I think River Rod will evolve. What I don't want to do is I don't want to upset our core. Look, some of the folks that come to our shows, and I love this, and this is what gets my jollies off. Look, I got dudes driving and pulling their cars from Beaumont to Lubbock and far west Texas, and at Luke and Ron, we had someone that came in from Memphis, from Biloxi, Mississippi, and one guy who was his birthday, and he built his Ranchero wagon, and he wanted to drive what he built for his birthday to visit his daughter here in Texas. And he
Fucking
drove
cool.
Right.
from San Diego all the way to Lukenbach.
Nice.
And so I got to make sure that I take care of my core people, right? I love everybody, but look, those people really are the folks that got River Rod and Luke and Rod off the ground.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The good folks in Luling, Oil City A's, right? They bring 20, 30 rides out
Right.
every year. The HFD, the Houston Fire Department, retired HFD dudes, they bring out 20, 30 rides. And there's other clubs that I'm probably not mentioning that I'll probably, no disrespect, but
No, man,
there's
you can't always name all of them when you're sitting on a podcast.
No,
dude.
and that's
And
that whole thing that I said from the beginning with the hashtag support those who support us. I mean that runs right there.
yeah, exactly.
and dude, so are what what are your thoughts about doing a focused? Have you ever thought about doing a mini truck show? There's so many of them now that it might be tough, but
here's the struggle I have with that, right? If I did a mini truck show, like a pure mini trucker show, which I would love to do, I would love to bring back Meltdown. We did Meltdown for, Jesus, 7 years, 8 years, or something like that. We had a shit ton of fun. I had a ton of fun doing those shows.
Right.
Um, I can't, because I've been trying to stay around the Central Texas region. Although I've had aspirations to do a show in Houston or do a show, in Dallas and that kind of thing, or up north.
Right.
Um, I have to do it where I'm going to get the support, right? Because unfortunately, it seems like the mini truck scene here in Central Texas is not what it should be.
No, it's not as big as it is what it should be.
It's not as big everywhere as it should be, unless you're a mini Nats or a Dallas T, that kind of deal, right? Where people come in from all over the world. So I'd have to be really smart about that because at the end of the day, right? Shows are expensive. They're expensive to put on. There's a lot of risk, and there's a lot of time that's invested in putting these things on. And it's I think you had mentioned like putting on a show is a pain in the ass.
Oh yeah.
it sucks. I've done a few.
It is. Now the mini truck crowd is changed also. Like a lot of the old school mini truckers are now getting into classic cars and trucks. And there's a kind of a new crowd in the mini truck scene that I've kind of noticed. So again, I'd love to do it. I definitely would love to do it. The question is, how can I squeeze it in with all the shows that we're doing now?
Sure.
Because as it is now, we finished one show and we're preparing for the next show.
Yes, I know that. I know that pain. We're planning our Dia de los Custom show here in Dallas, and we're having our first meeting about it in January. And man, I've done a bunch of them, and I I'm looking forward to it, but it's also such a time sucker.
Yeah, it's a kick in the dick.
Yeah, yeah. So give us this, man. I want to know I want to know what got you into going, you know what? I'm going to start promoting shows and putting on these shows, and I'm going to spend 85 to 90% of my time being a show promoter.
Well, when I started doing meth,
Ah,
um, so the origins of P events, right? So, 20 years ago, I had two small kids, and they were pretty smart. And I was like, man, these kids are going to go to college someday, and I don't have cash to send them to college. I don't have enough savings.
same.
So so I started doing shows to kind of build a college fund for them. And the model worked. Now, over the 20 years, right? We haven't been doing shows 20 years straight. We took a break for about, man, I hate to say it, about 4 years, 4 or 5 years, because I was traveling at that point quite a bit. Um, but the origins was, and the model was let's build shows, let's have fun, let's build kind of a college fund for the kids. So when they graduate high school, they have something. They don't have to worry about financial aid. They don't have to do any of that crap. They don't have to go to school and work at the same time, which was a pain in the ass for me when I was going to college and stuff. So happy to say that both my daughter graduated in 2013 from college, and my son just graduated this past June. So the model worked.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
the
have
model.
a college graduate. She's a nurse, and she's now married to a firefighter and has given birth to my first grandbaby. And so
Oh man.
I know how you feel about watching a kiddo walk across that college stage. It's a pretty badass feeling.
Oh man, it's definitely a great feeling to see that. Look, college, whether it's college, whether and I used to recruit for a technical school a long time for a while, and whether it's a technical school, whether it's a traditional college, whether it's going to be an apprentice, whether it's starting your own business, right? Just seeing your kids do well, do better than what you're doing is the deal, right? For
That's
me, that's what gets my jollies off,
that's
right?
what has to happen. Like I've tried to tell my kids, look, um, I have dabbled in several different things and different
Yeah.
businesses, and some did pretty well, and I sold out and pocketed some money, and others
Hmm.
failed miserably. And you never stop trying. And what I've told my kids was like, look, I don't care if when you finish high school, you decide, you know what, I'm not going to college, I'm going to be a garbage man. Okay, that's perfectly fine, but your goal better be to end up starting your own garbage collection company, or your goal better be to be the, if you're going to work for the city, you better concentrate on moving up to the highest position you can.
Right.
If you're going to go work at a gas station, well, your goal better be to own the fucking thing in 10 years. My kids, I'm going to support them no matter what they decide they want to do in life, but they better try to be the best.
Y- You know, it, During the time that I was recruiting for a technical school, there was in Temple, Texas. There's a turkey plant there, and I met someone. I don't know why I'm going on this thought, but
Because you're on the hometown hot rodder, and
Yeah.
yeah.
we
So
don't go
just
and we
walk.
don't we don't stick to scripts where the fuck.
So walk with me on this one. So I met a guy. I met a dad, and the dad was like, "Look, I work at I forget the name of the plant there in Temple, Texas that does turkey processing. And I'm doing a good living. He doesn't need to go to any school. Blah 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 blah." I said, "Okay, cool. I'm curious. What do you do for the plant?" And then he goes, "I'm a turkey sexer." I
What?
said, "A turkey sexer?
Oh damn! How do I get that job?
No, but like, what? So what do you? What is that? What do you do? What is it?" And the guy says, "Well, I basically lift up a turkey's ass and determine whether it's a male or female."
Nice.
And I'm like, dude, like that is messed up.
That's a goddamn. That's a rough fucking day, man. 8 hours of fondling turkey cranks. I didn't even know
so, I,
turkeys had cranks, but whatever.
so that's
Right.
why I continue to do show promotion because I didn't want to look up turkeys' asses, I guess. But you're right. Look, whatever. If you're a turkey sexer, man, you better lift more turkey ass than anybody else in that plant.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
No
want.
shit.
Yeah, you better have the most smiling turkeys on your shift of anybody.
Look, listen to me. If you like turkey cooch, knock it out,
Yeah,
man.
you.
Knock it out.
They better all be buying you Christmas presents.
Uh,
So
but on the just to follow up on the question, right? So when we took a break, we came back, we did a couple meltdowns, and decided, you know what, I think I want to change course. Right, I'm getting a little bit older, and a lot of the dudes that, true mini truckers were getting to classic cars and trucks, and I had a classic car at the time. I still have it. It's 1960. Well, it's my son's now, but it's a 1964 Thunderbird.
Nice.
That
Fucking love Thunderbirds.
Well, that's the square bird. Here's my belief, right? Here's my bias, right? Anything prior to 1960, from a classic car standpoint, rocks. Especially, the 50 between the 60s, because you have that Astro, that atomic, age, kind of influence on cars. You look at tail lights, and they all have the afterburners, and it looks like rocket ships and stuff.
Yeah, that
So
was Ford's thing, man.
Hell yeah.
well, not, yeah, Ford and everybody else that try to copy them, right?
Right.
You look at a Cadillac, right? The Cadillac tail lights are the same way, right? They have that rocket shipper fins and everything else that goes along with that.
Yeah, General Motors
Uh,
said, "Fuck you, we're putting wings on our shit."
yeah, we're all flying in the '60s, right? So, I have, I had that T-Bird. It's my son's now, and it's actually under the knife right now. Bobby or the Sharp Ingenuities guys are doing some work on the heads and a couple of things. And then I have a '66 F100.
Sweet.
Um,
Nice.
and if you notice, you didn't see any of them at the show. You didn't see my truck at the show because people ask me, "Do you take your cars to the show?" I can't. It's an issue.
It's too much
And
trouble.
well, that's the thing, right? Because now I got to, like, worry about getting the truck to the show and then making sure that all our other stuff is at the show and making sure we're organized. So unfortunately, I haven't been able to take my rides to my shows because I'm busy, putting on the show, right?
Yep.
Uh, but that's what I have, and so I started getting into classic cars and trucks. And my wife and I went to Lukenbach, and we went to a concert. We love live music. In fact, I just got back from LA to. I was in LA for the weekend just to go see. This is an '80s mullet band, Dokken. If you ever heard of Dokken.
Fucking right. Hell yeah, I heard of Dawkins. Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
So we were at the Whiskey Go Go listening to Dokken.
Oh man,
Nice.
My Christmas present for me, right?
dude, that is
Uh,
way cool.
oh yeah, dude. Look, I have a story. Look, I've hung out with Vince Neil from Motley Crue. We talked about barbecue and not on this trip. And fucking mowing grass with tractors
Well, and
and fucking dogs.
I could tell by looking that Vince Neil enjoys a good plate of barbecue nowadays.
Oh, that dude is blown up like nobody's
Man,
business. And, well, I'm happy he's walking because he fell off a stage here recently. So poor
yeah,
dude, man.
good for him.
But he was a cool dude to me though. I can't talk too much shit about Vince.
That's
He was a
that's
cool dude to me.
that's badass, dude. And it's just always interesting to hear all these stories, man. Like that. I'm sure you have an endless like clock of what you could tell on your stories by doing all these stupid damn shows, you know?
Yeah, don't get me on teaching you guys Spanish because I did it on the custom couple. We talked about my middle school years teaching non-speaking folks Spanish bad words. It was cool.
Well, so and
Nice.
here's the thing. So I work full time at Napa Auto Parts,
Uh-huh.
and I'm the only white dude in the store except for a couple of old drivers. And they always start talking Spanish about me, and I'm just like, man, I know y'all are talking shit. And
And if they're saying hey culero, that's actually they're probably talking shit about you. I'll
yeah,
tell you right
yeah,
now.
but no, and then I'm also in Los Hitters, and again, I'm the only white dude. Um, so, uh, whatever. I mean, I just listen for my name, like Bill Cosby.
Most Latinos are pretty inclusive, and we're stupid loyal people, man. And as long as you're cool with them, they're cool with you.
I'm gonna
So
tell you this: some of my best friends are Latinos, dude.
I'm from Norwalk, California, so
Yeah,
oh, dude, yeah, you're Latino. You're Latino just by living in North
yes,
California.
yeah,
sir.
just by proxy.
Yeah, look, it's Los Angeles, but the reality is it's Los Angeles because the majority of people there are Latino or Hispanic
Absolutely,
descent.
absolutely. So let's, man, what what can we expect at River Rod? Like, I have no idea
Yeah,
about the venue other than where it is. I don't know what all's gonna be there. So
sure.
tell me what to expect because we've never been. So
Yeah.
this will be our first trip.
So let me kind of share with you kind of the process on how we pull the show off, yeah, because I think it's really important for people who may be listening who have never been to one of our shows and want to come to our shows. First of all, we encourage people to pre-register, and here's the reason why. When someone pre-registers, we're going to mail out your entry sticker and your wristbands and an instruction sheet as to times and do's and don'ts and that kind of stuff. But the benefit of that is that instead of going to a show and going to the registration desk and getting off your car and filling out a form and doing that kind of stuff, as soon as you put that sticker on your windshield, we're just going to wave you on to get you parked. Okay. So it speeds up the whole process of putting in 500 cars into a facility. So first of all, that's kind of we really pride ourselves in doing that because we go to shows too, and I get frustrated when I'm waiting in line, and if your car heats up or whatever, that's a huge advantage of being able just to roll on in and not have to again wait in line and so forth.
Yes.
Uh, Second of all, right? So we're going to have live music. So right now we have one band booked. We have the Lucky Odds, and the Lucky Odds have played for our shows for many years. They're a rockabilly band out of San Antonio. We have Joe Tropicana, who's a DJ here in the Austin area, who is if you haven't seen his Instagram page or if you've never experienced a Joe Tropicana event, it's a sight to see. It's a he spins the music that you probably would have never thought you would hear at a car show, but it's awesome and it's
Fucking
relevant
cool.
and it's cool as shit. And I'm stoked about having Joe Tropicana. We're probably going to add another band. We're still deciding who we want to bring on for a second, another band. So we'll have live music. We'll have Joe Tropicana spinning some records, some real vinyl at the show. And then you're going to have again 500 of pre-1987 vehicles from all over the state of Texas, if not outside the state of Texas as well. We actually had someone from Oklahoma last year
Hell
who
yeah.
came in from Oklahoma. So and look, what will happen is we're going to do a top 75 show. So the top 75 vehicles will win a trophy. So very similar to Battle Rod. And then we'll have the best of category. So of the best ofs, we're going to do the same thing we did at Battle Rod. That in fact, Battle Rod was the first time we ever done that.
It was awesome,
And
dude. I look
and
that parade thing was just super fucking cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and we're gonna do that again at River Rod, and I don't know how I can pull it off at Lucan Rod yet, but nevertheless, River Rod will have it as well. And then, as I mentioned, Vintage Vendetta is going to have their top 5 classic trucks in their classic truck corral, and he'll be giving those awards as well. And then we're going to be doing a unique best of award by Mayor Metalworks. They did our best ofs for Lucan Rod and Battle Rod,
Was that the belt
or
buckles?
no, I'm sorry, Lucan Rod and River last year. No, the belt buckle was not Jake. Jake was actually on a beach in I think in Costa Rica during that
Okay.
time, so he couldn't help us with that. But did you like that buckle? Was
Dude,
that a cool idea?
that was one of the coolest things I've seen, and it almost makes me want to strive to get one.
It's funny because my son was like, "Hey man, hey dad, can you hook up with one of those buckles and shit?" I'm
Yeah,
like, "Come on."
because when we went to mini camp out in 2019 out in South
Mm.
Carolina, we had, it was the very first time we had ever driven the 55 to a car show, and
Holy shit, that's a
yeah,
drive.
yeah, it was Myrtle Beach, and James White from hashtag Mini Movement, he's a good friend of mine, and it was a show that he put on, and we won an Elite Eight award with the 55.
Nice.
Dude, it was a Tony Hawk skateboard with some metal work on it that said Elite Eight and whatnot. And so those kind of awards, dude, those are some of the coolest ones you'll ever get because as a car owner that somebody put time into that award just like you put time into your car. And
Absolutely.
and for Battle Rod, what I have to give you credit because it's one of the most important things at a show to me was that you treated Battle Rod like a big ass show. And it wasn't, okay, thanks for registering. Here's your entry form and here's your fucking ballot. And go around and vote for all your friends and your friends win trophies.
Right, right.
Mm.
You guys went around and you judged the cars, and that was super cool. Because to me, it's in at every show it's not always going to be perfectly it's not always going to be the perfect world scenario because there's going to be a time that one of your buddies just happens to have the baddest ass whatever, right?
Hmm.
But for the most part that is an honestly judged show, so congratulations on that, good job, and thank you for doing it that way.
No, we kept the same process that we do for River Rod and Lucan Rod for Battle Rod because that's all we know. I mean, look, we've been doing these shows enough times that our processes that we've built, they may not be perfect, but it works, right? We and quite honestly, every show we do, we make it a point to make it as personable as possible. So when people email me about questions about this, that, whatever, we're Johnny on the spot, man. Because look, I know how it feels to be on the other side of that, whether I'm at a show or whether I'm trying to find out information about the show. So we make it a point to make sure that we service people like like you would expect at I hate to say it, but like Nordstrom's, right? You go to Nordstrom's, and their motto is that, to give you the best experience you'll ever have. Well, I know we sometimes we fall short of it in our shows, but we really try hard. Everybody from my wife to my kids who help me out, and my brother. My brother's doing shows now in South Texas. His shows are 800 plus entries in South Texas, and he does a really good job of that. And I go out there and help him.
That's sweet.
Or Shitty, Scott Ritchie, we call him Shitty. Shitty
Yeah.
is
I didn't know.
he's yeah, Shitty is the most meticulous guy you'll ever meet. We'll go ahead.
No, dude, I'm just laughing. Go ahead. You go ahead. It was
No,
just,
like,
I didn't know how to take it when you introduced me to him as Shitty. I was like, okay. So no, go ahead with your story, man. I'm sorry.
no, look, Shitty. Look, Shitty is the most meticulous. Like, look, we'll all kind of agree. Like, hey, this is the car that should win a best of whatever it is. And Shitty's the guy who come back and say, hold on a second, wait a minute. You see that wire underneath the firewall, underneath blah blah blah? And it's like, holy shit! Only you would find something like that, right?
Yeah, fucking overachiever.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, motherfucker, this ain't Pebble Beach.
No, he knows his shit. He knows his shit, right?
That's awesome.
He'll know some like weird shit. Like he'll talk about a bolt, a certain kind of bolt that I've never heard of the name of that fucking bolt. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, who the fuck are you, Rain Man?
Well, I can tell you
Like,
this. Knowing that, I'm super pumped. Now my top 80 that the 55 took that makes me feel even better.
Right.
Yeah, but Shitty, my brother, my son, myself, look, I'm everything. I'm the chief bottle washer, the MC, the everything else, and it's a family event. Shitty's part of our family. Everyone that's on our we have a friend, Brenna, flies in from New Orleans to help us out as well, and she puts she does the need and does a good job with us. And I'm just blessed to have all the folks that we've had over the years to help us put these shows on.
Absolutely, and in the fact that you have your whole family and friends and things like that involved, Jimmy and I were talking about it, and that's hometown. So that's why it's such a good fit for Hometown Hot Rodder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I cannot confirm or deny, but I hear that there could be there have been some rumors that the Hometown Hot Rodders and the Custom Couple may have their recorders on site.
That'd be dope. That would be dope.
To possibly grab a couple people and talk, because we love to promote your show because you treated us so wonderfully at Battle Rod that I'm like, man, we're gonna help promote this deal and try to help get some awareness, because it would be super cool if we could get a 5, 6, 10 car caravan to come down from Dallas.
No, that would be dope, man. And I definitely appreciate y'all support. And it was great meeting you guys at Battle Rod, and you guys are cool dudes, man. Like you guys are the kind of the poster child for what hot rodders are, right? Like, drive your shit. It's going to break down, but damn it, we're going to make it somehow or another. It might catch fire, but shit, we're still going to make it.
Damn right.
And that to me is awesome, man.
Well, thanks, man. We
green star for you dudes.
We appreciate that, and unfortunately, one of two things is going to happen or have to happen, right? If this show keeps growing the way it's growing, and people want us to be at places, right? We're either going to have to do some major upgrades to the ride to make sure we get there, or we're going to have to pick a different ride whenever we know we're going to record on at a show.
So let me get this right. You either have to go out and buy something to cruise in, or you have to go buy parts to upgrade. I think it's a win-win, guys.
Yeah, how do you lose on that deal?
Yeah.
So
money, but it's just money.
So do you ever make your way up this way, like to Dallas? I mean, I don't even mean for your shows, but are you ever up this way?
It's funny you say that, because I'm actually going to be in Dallas tomorrow. But uh, so to shows, look, I've over the years I've done many shows all over, Texas and stuff. I hadn't been to a show in Dallas this year. Well, I say that I went to Good Guys here. What was it, October or sometime? Whenever
Yep.
it was.
Yep.
There was a couple of dudes out there that come to our shows that were there. But I haven't been to a lot of shows last year. I hate to say it.
Name, dude.
I'm hoping to change that.
Well, no, and the only point to that was, man, if you're ever up here, we would love to have you. And we're not very conveniently located because we're out in Rockwall, so we're 30 miles or so east of Dallas.
Yeah, it's pretty inconveniently located.
Yeah, exactly. But dude, if you guys are ever up this way, man, and it schedules work, it'd be cool to go sit down and have dinner, and
Well, that'd be cool, man.
just chop it up over all this stuff. So I'm trying to think. There were a lot of things I wanted to ask you about, and some of them have slipped my mind. Now the food trucks, right? Is that something that you do at all your places, or do some of them do you have like different vendors set up? Because like
Yeah,
some of these shows that we've been to have like a fucking midway of food,
yeah.
and
I laugh because 2021 has been a disappointing year when it comes to vendors for us, unfortunately. Um, we were supposed to have 3 trucks at Battle Rod, and we had 2 folks come out to sell food.
understood.
And that one dude that was selling those killer hot dogs. Look, I had a hot dog at the end of the day. Holy shit, that was a hot. I've had some hot dogs in my mouth, but I'm telling you, that hot dog.
But that was the
Wait a minute.
best 12 inches you ever had.
They
huh?
just weren't that juicy. So I'm actually allergic to hot dogs. I can't eat them. I get deathly ill when I eat hot dogs or like bologna.
Yeah.
Well,
Processed meat.
everybody's always asked me my whole life. They're like, "Well, what about all beef? Can you eat those?" And I'm like, "Well, I can tell you this: if I don't eat it, I won't get sick, right?" And so at Battle Rod, dude, I was so hungry, and it smelled so good. I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna try it. They got nice bathrooms, so I'm gonna try it, and I'm happy to report no sickness whatsoever. And Jimmy and I were in love with those damn hot dogs.
So he's actually coming out to. So we have 3 prepaid vendors already.
Cool.
Food vendors, guaranteed to be there for sure. And he's actually going to be there at Battle Rod. He had such a good time at the Battle Rod. He'll be at River Rod as well. So if you want to fill your mouth with more hot dogs,
More,
go to River Rod.
more beef in my mouth, less sauce.
Is that a plug or what?
It might be.
Right?
It might be. But I can't wait because we're still in the hunt to figure out what Jimmy's gonna get for his next take to show ride, and I'm excited because now we're kind of gonna fall in this thing where, man, we go to a lot of shows that are 64 and older, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're also dope fiends for some 80s stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well,
I'm excited.
you'll get your fill of 80s. So what we see at River Rod is the 80s vehicles you'll see at River Rod are C10s. I'm not seeing any, Camaro, 87 Camaros or anything like that. I'm not seeing the, kind of the IROC Zs, unfortunately, because I love an IROC Z.
Yeah, I'm a third gen fan.
I'm a mullet man, I'm telling you.
Fucking right.
But you'll see mainly, assuming it's like last year or so, most of the 80s are going to be the C10s, which are great, man, great car out.
Nothing wrong with it at all.
Yeah.
But there's a pretty good plethora of mini trucks to choose from in that era too.
Oh man, if you
So-
say plethora, you got to take a shot if you say plethora.
Check this out. What if? Okay, noted. So check this out, dude. What if we found you like a 82 or 3 Vista Cruiser?
You talking to me?
Yeah,
What do you mean a Vista Cruiser?
That's a big ass Oldsmobile station wagon.
Oh no, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna. I have nothing against the mini truck thing, but I have figured out that every time I've had a mini truck of any sort,
It's not your thing.
I ended up getting rid of it. I need something bigger. I'm too big.
Yeah, it's not your thing. I get that. I completely.
Oh
get
yeah,
that.
no, I want a wagon. I want a full size. I want
Yeah.
I want everything.
Yeah. So that's what's cool about us is we have this totally different theme.
If you don't get,
Go for it.
go ahead.
No, I'm good. Go ahead.
No,
No, I think we have a delay, or I think my mic is. Anyway, I was gonna say, man, what you need is, if you want to really be a player, where all the women come to your car, dude, you need a 1980 Chevrolet Citation. You need to hammer that shit.
Dude. Or well, with the
Right now, there's someone listening to this shit going, "What the hell is this Chevrolet Citation?"
Yeah, and or there's a dude going, "Hey, this is our show, man, and our show's a little fucking out there." So there might be somebody going, "Hey, why are you shitting on Citations?"
I live in Seguin.
Yeah, motherfucker. Like motherfucker, I like front wheel drive Chevettes with vertical radios in them. Yeah, I like my wannabe '64
Chevy
vet.
Citation with. Listen to me. Chevy Citation with 6x9, 10,000 watt speakers in the back would be dope.
Dude, I'm gonna find a Chevette or Citation just to bring to one of your fucking shows now.
Listen to me. I will make an award. Best 80s vehicle.
Dude, my mom had a white and gold Citation when I was a kid. And we rode all over the planet in that fucking car, man. And you know what? I don't hate them.
My first car was a 1979 Ford LTD, four-door. I think it was like ex-highway patrol, ex-cab or something. I mean, that thing was a boat.
Hell yeah.
And when I was, when I was driving that damn thing, and it had power, by the way. I used to smoke some Camaros. But when I was driving, I remember, and my wife was with me, and she was my girlfriend then. I married my high school sweetheart. Thank you.
Oh.
Yeah, do the alls.
No, I did too, but we're no longer married, and I've been married to Brooke for 18 years.
She was really petite. She's petite little girl, and I remember one time I turned too hard, I think, and I think the seat may have had not a hole, but like it was worn out on the the end by the door. I think she rolled into it, like she almost like fell into the gap between the door panel and the chair, that kind of deal. So 1979 Ford LTD. Look, if you have a 1979 Ford LTD, you come into the show for free. How about that?
Damn. So, all right. Well, we're gonna do this real quick, and then we'll let you get to whatever you got to get into. But we got to know, man. We ask each other. I've never gotten a straight answer out of Jimmy because he likes everything.
What?
So I'm gonna ask you, JP. Absolute money was not a question. It didn't matter. You were able to buy it. Give me the dream car.
That is we went around the room with the guys from the show about that same fucking question, and it's the hardest question to answer because I am a car whore. Listen to me. Literally my driveway. We have like 5 cars. And
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, so do
surprisingly,
we.
they all work. Surprisingly, they all work. Look, I'm Hispanic.
Fucking bragger.
I was at that Peterson Museum in LA this weekend, and I saw the James Bond Lotus Esprit that turned into a submarine.
Okay, that's
And
pretty
I
cool.
and I haven't been able to get that out of all the car candy that was in that museum. I haven't been able to get that car out of my mind because when I was a kid, watching James Bond, it was like like kid porn back then when I was a kid. That car, that Lotus Esprit that turned into a submarine, was the baddest shit I'd ever seen.
Okay. So that JP's absolute dream car is a Bond mobile.
Well, that's my dream car for the moment, man.
So-
You ask me tomorrow, I'm gonna tell you a different car all the way.
So that's got to open it up, Jimmy. Now you got to answer. What is the absolute money doesn't matter dream car?
I have no idea.
Really?
There's so many. See, the problem is I got too many like genres of cars. Like I hate supercars, but there's only one supercar I'd ever buy. And then like when it comes
A
to
Bugatti?
what's that?
A Bugatti?
No. I've always ever since I was a kid, it was a Saleen S7.
Okay. Okay.
But as far as old, it's got to be a '59 Impala. Always has been.
That's what I kind of figure you would say because I know how much you love them.
Yeah.
I have to have a car and a truck, or else I can't play the game. So,
Right.
yeah, it's a 53 to 56 F100, or it's a 35 or 36 Ford 3-window coupe.
Nice.
Those are the.
See that this game sucks. I'll tell you right now. This
Yeah,
game
right.
sucks
It does. It's hard.
Because like I said, it's a car of the moment, right? Because I can tell you right now, tomorrow, if I'm not thinking about that James Bond car for whatever fucking reason, I don't know why. There was a couple other cars in there that, like, I would give my right nut for.
Yeah.
But there's so a Nomad, a Chevy Nomad, a wagon of any, for the most part, a wagon. Period. A classic wagon is something I've been thinking about
Yes.
for a while. In fact, I was thinking about selling the truck to get a wagon, that kind of deal. But it's just this game sucks. You got to pick another game. Like if there's one chick. How about this? If there was one chick in the world that you'd like to bang, who would that chick be? Maybe that make it fair for car dudes.
And it
It's
wouldn't.
hard to,
And it wouldn't affect I wouldn't lose my wife.
and yeah, like you got a hall pass, right?
I'm gonna go with Joss Stone.
Josh Stone.
Joss, Joss.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
I don't
you
even know
said
who
it
that.
right.
Look, I'm looking at it right now. I was like, who the hell
Look-
is Josh Stone?
Look up Joss Stone. She's a younger. She's a
Oh, I
pop.
see her.
Yeah. Not
All right,
not
my girl.
not exactly
Right.
what you would have thought I would say.
Well, look, we all have. I like.
Dude. When you listen to her sing, like her bluesy, raspy voice, it's fucking over with. Game over.
So my girl is, and I can't. Fuck, my memory's going to shit. The Richardson girl, the girl that was married to, Tiger Blood dude. What's his name? Denise
Denise Richards.
Richards. There you
Yeah,
go.
Yeah.
Denise Richards. Okay.
Wild
Yeah,
things.
that does.
Yeah.
I wish my wife. I hope my wife's not there listening to this because I might be shit.
Well, I know mine's gonna hear it, but she talks about that dude
Yeah.
Rip from Yellowstone so much that I feel like I've got one coming.
Right.
No, I'm one of those guys. I haven't seen Yellowstone, so I wouldn't even know what that is. But fuck Rip. I don't give a shit
Yeah,
who he is.
yeah. I mean, whatever. Get you some Rip. Okay, Jimmy. Then now it's your turn. Ultimate Chick. Then we'll play this game. We got to come up with a new game for every episode.
Okay. Ultimate, like the Dream Girl.
Yeah.
Since I was a kid, and she continues to get hotter and hotter as she gets older.
Okay.
Jennifer Connelly,
Okay.
Labyrinth, all the way up.
Damn it, boy.
You right?
Very close on my bucket list used to be Reba, but once I realized how tangle-eyed she was.
Did you say Reba?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a joke. But well,
Oh,
man,
dude, you went Jennifer Connelly. That's old school, man. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
yes.
I had to look her up. I was like,
Look her up now. Like you look her up now and then, and it's just like she grew up, but she's still hot as shit.
Yeah,
she's like the girl next door hot.
Yes.
and that's a good hot because I'm kind of like the uncle in the attic, good looking.
The uncle in the back room that we don't.
I was literally thinking right when you said it, I was like, did you just say something about behind the tool shed or something? What the fuck's going on here, bud?
Maybe. Well, JP, unless there's something else that you'd like to talk about or somebody you'd like to give a shout out to or anything, man, I think we've probably ruined your street cred enough.
No. Listen to me. I appreciate you guys having me on, and I hope I didn't drop your download subscriptions because I was pretty boring tonight.
Absolutely not.
No, we're
Okay,
good. We're good at doing that ourselves.
Yeah, we got to go through and put the intro and shit back in this. So.
Yeah. So for those who are wanting to come to River Rod, riverrod.net, register. We'll see you March 12th. It's going to be a great time, like always, and we look forward to seeing everybody and hopefully this COVID shit goes away so that we can have more fun.
No
Oh,
shit.
shit.
Dude, I cannot thank you enough for jumping on, man. It's a big step for somebody that actually has something worth losing to jump on here with us as we start learning our way through this podcast deal. So, man, we can't thank you enough. We really do appreciate you, dude, and just keep killing it and doing what you're doing with these shows and keeping them where all the enthusiasts love coming to your shows, man.
Well, thank you guys.
Right on,
Have a
dude.
great, have a great Christmas.
Yeah, man.
yeah, you
Merry
too,
Christmas
man.
to you and the family. Tell everybody we said hello, and we will see you in March.
We'll see you in March.
All right,
right.
brother. Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye. So y'all heard it there, man. JP from P Events. Make sure you get to riverrod.net. Check out that show. Pre-register your ride, or you suck.
Yeah, and we'll be there.
We'll be there, and like I alluded to, we're gonna have some podcast recorders in hand. And if you want to check us out, talk about being a future hometown hot rodder on our podcast, let us know, man. We'll be glad to jump y'all in there and see you.
Hell yeah.
All right, so listen, we're gonna try not to do anything until Christmas or the day after. Although I gotta go get my fucking second COVID vaccine the day after Christmas. Those sons of bitches, Napa.
No, really?
Well, in preparation for this bullshit thing that they're fighting in the House or the Senate or whatever for companies over 100 employees, Napa's like, we're going to go ahead and say that everybody's got to have both. If not, you got to wear a mask. I was like, I'll quit before I wear a mask. So Sunday after Christmas, I'm going and getting my second shot.
Yeah, lucky I work for the union. They tell them to go shove that shit up their
Yeah,
ass.
we're not podcasting me getting my second shot because that shit hurts.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Fuck you.
I'm
We ain't
just
doing it.
kidding.
But
I know I'm going to be laid up.
yeah, but no, man. Dude, this was a pretty cool episode.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear how it came out, and I can't wait to see everybody at River Rod. I'm looking forward to it.
Hell yeah.
So you've been listening to Hometown Hot Rodder. This was episode 14, and I'm Brian.
And this is Jimmy.
All right, we'll see y'all later on. Take it easy.
Eat a dick.
Later.